Welcome to another edition of the future award-winning series, Distracted Driving. Tonight on Distracted Driving, thank God it's almost over. It's the final installment of the Salute to the 80s, featuring a top 10 list that is sure to have changed since the taping of this show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Ray Auger, Jay Pillarella, and Tim Rice.
Episode 3 of the 80s. It was supposed to be a two-parter.
This is like a VH1 special.
It is. It's going to be a whole season of 80s. But we decided that we were going to do a third one because we never got to the movies, and that was the big thing.
And this is what people are waiting for.
I think so. Could you imagine us doing a three-parter on the 2000s?
No, not at all. Not interested. Not that much happened. No. Got kind of depressing at the end.
Pop culture. You know? No, 90s I think we could easly do a couple episodes, but 80s it would just...
But even the VH1 special in the 90s wasn't the same.
No.
They tried.
The 80s, and I don't care who you are, it has to be the best decade ever.
Again, we're partial. We grew up in it, and we were part of everything that was going on. I mean, when we asked Antonio, what's your favorite decade? And he's like, the 90s, maybe if I remembered it, because he didn't even remember it.
He didn't remember the 90s?
No.
He's a youngin'.
I was 7 to 17 in the 80s.
7 to 17 in the 80s.
That is your formative years, as I put in my blog today, which you can go, you should have seen it by now, 3 weeks ago at this point.
I was 6 to 16, yeah.
8 to 18.
There you go.
I think I talked to you guys. Well, all right, let's get into the movies. The reason why I picked the movies I picked, and there's so many movies.
Way back at episode 1.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's start. I think we said that. Let's start with the movies way back when. But anyway, the reason I picked these movies, and we have a list of 30. We all had to do 30 favorite movies, and then we kept thinking of movies we didn't add. These are not necessarily my favorite movies, but from the 80s, these are the movies that meant the most to me. And they all most of them fall between 84 and maybe 88. Because 84, I was 12, right up till maybe 17. Those were really important years for me. And these movies, for whatever reason, really stuck with me through the years and made an impact on my life. So that's how I got my 30. Now, I know that you're talking about stuff that you forgot on the list, but why did you pick your initial 30?
My initial 30 were, what movies do I remember? My number one, can I start with my list? Can I talk about it? What are we supposed to be doing here?
Well, I just want to know why
how I came up with my list.
Your 30.
I went through and I just made a list of movies from the 80s. I just made not thinking what was number one, what was my favorite. I just made a list of movies. When I think of the 80s, here are the movies I think of.
Gut instinct.
Yes.
These are the movies you remember.
I came up with like 40 instantly. In probably like 5 minutes. If I could type faster, they would have been down. And then I started, oh crap, and then adding other ones. And then every time I add one, I have to take one away. And then I'd start crying like a little baby. I'm like, well, I can't take that away. And I'm not going to lie to you, we haven't talked about our list yet, but my number one, I want to take off the list now. Because to me, it's an incredibly important movie. It's the first movie I ever saw in the theater. But it's not an 80s movie. It transcends all time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because some of those movies I left off the list because of that.
And now that I had a couple days to think about it, I would have taken that off and put a different movie in its spot.
What?
Have you seen my list?
No.
So you don't know what my number one is?
Understood.
Jay, why did you pick your 30?
Honestly, the same reason that
because your 30 could have been 100.
No, my 30
Easily.
was 100.
But why did you pick this 30?
This was tough. I didn't know that you were going to make us put them in order. And that's what actually
remember when you told me, did you get mad?
I got pissed. And I remember, so I'm just writing them down. I did not need anything. And I did the same thing about 40. And then all of a sudden I'm like, but you know what? I'm going to Google because I know I forgot stuff.
Sure.
So after Googling, I had at least 70. And then you said put them in order, and then you said 30, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I start minusing stuff, and don't get me wrong, 20 of those really weren't horrible to shave off, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to shave these off.
If not this, then why not that one? That's how I kept going.
So then now that was just the shave off, all right? That had nothing to do with putting them in order. That was a whole new hell on itself, all right? Because then I started saying, I always know my top 5. That's never going to change. I think I'll always know my top 10. That's never actually going to change.
I think mine fluctuate.
Mine fluctuates.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But they're
like
always going to
capacitor.
revolve around with each other. So when it came down to it, and then I start looking at these ones, you know, like number 20, number 25, and I'm like, damn, you know what? Sometimes I could easily put that in the top 10. I don't want to kick anything out, but I want this. I want 9.2. I want 9.4. I want, like, son of a bitch.
You know what's fun when you Google 80s? What did I Google? It wasn't just 80s movies. It was some like the greatest 80s movies.
Sure.
The images that come up, the first 10 are very similar to my first 20.
Yes.
My top 20, which
Completely
makes me
agree.
feel really, you know, good and on track with pop culture.
Now, see, this says more about me, though. I don't want to be on that track. I Googled the forgotten movies of the 80s.
Oh, I love my forgotten movies, trust me. But those aren't my favorites.
I hate... This says more about my personality than anything else. If it's on top 10, I get upset going, oh, I don't want to be part of the top 10. I don't like... Oh, that's an Oscar movie? I don't want to see that. Because I don't want to be one of those people in the lemmings that have to go out to the theaters and buy the popcorn. Yet my movie is probably one of the most seen movies of all time, is my number one.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Ray gave me back our lists and said, you know, we're actually going to read them out, I am going to substitute a couple of things here.
That's not fair. I'm driving. I can't.
Absolutely
Why
not.
If you think of something, toss it in there.
No.
All right, let's
No,
get to
that's
the
a
list.
whole other
We're
conversation.
6 minutes
Okay,
in
then
already.
I won't.
Thank you. Let's hear your list. Top 10. Just the
Top 10. All right, starting with number 10. All right, Porky's. One of the best ever.
Which Porky's?
Porky's.
Okay.
What?
First one.
Are we supposed to criticize or are we just listening?
No, I mean, again, let's not spend a lot of time, but Porky's. The
right.
main reason why is the scene when they're in the actual, they're in the principal's office and they're talking about actually identifying a certain person's member and how they're going to identify it. And you can tell that when these actors are laughing, that they are literally not...
Same place we passed last time. Anyway, go ahead.
It's okay, but these people are actually not laughing because it's in the script. They can't stop laughing because the girl who plays Ballbreaker is actually so deadpan in this that every single actor can't hold their stuff together.
Number 9.
Number 9, sorry. Number 9, I got Friday the 13th Part 3. The main reason for that is because that's the first time Jason puts on his mask. The most iconic, you know, horror movie guy next to the, you know,
In
a million other
3D,
ones.
by the way.
In 3D. And it had great scenes like with pitchforks coming at you. They had a yo-yo coming at you at one point in time.
Number 8.
Number 8, I had Heathers. All right, what is your damage? Heathers is one of my favorite movies in the world, and I almost look at this and think that should be higher up.
Okay.
Number 7 is Stripes. I don't even have to explain Stripes. It's fantastic.
Stripes.
See? All right. Number 6, Revenge of the Nerds. All right, one of the early movies that, again, I'm a young, you know, kid that actually sees boobs, and we've got Bush. All right, one of the first movies.
Hap high.
Exactly.
What the fuck is a frush?
So, getting to number 5, Caddyshack. Again, people are going to say, man, that's not higher up on your list. It should be, but we don't have these subcategories, so that's where it is. Number 4, Ghostbusters. Man, whenever Ghostbusters came out, that changed my life, and I was like, horror comedy. I completely
I saw that
get
at Showcase
horror
downtown in Worcester. Remember that big theater
Yeah.
they had downtown?
Yeah.
Loved it.
The coolest thing about that was I went to go see it in Milford at the Kmart Theater. Right afterwards,
I saw the Milford's Kmart Theater.
Right afterwards, we went over to Kmart, and I bought Megatron from the Transformers. He was one of the coolest Transformers because he looked exactly like a Luger, but when he transformed into a robot, it looked like crap. But I used that gun as my Ghostbusters ray gun for the rest of the year. Number 3, Big Trouble in Little China. All right, what the hell is Gracie Law doing here? That's what I want to ask the entire crowd out there. It's Jack Burton at his best. You got Wang, you got Jack Burton, you got Lopan.
It was Jack Burton at his only best, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was, but he's
Still
awesome.
was his best.
Number 2. All right, number 2 and 1. These are my fluctuators. All right, and they go back and forth all the freaking time. But my number 2, when I wrote this list, was Lost Boys. One of the best horror comedies. I don't even want to call it a comedy so much. I don't want to call it a comedy so much, but it was considered a horror comedy. Kiefer Sutherland.
That's a horror comedy.
Corey Haim, Jason Patrick. Corey Feldman. Just an unbelievable cast brought together for the first time. Vampires that were scary, but at the same time, the movie was funny.
And the soundtrack was great.
was unbelievable. That was 80s at its best. And of course, you can probably guess my number one.
Jamie
imagine
Gertz.
it's on
Did you
your
say
shirt.
Jamie Gertz?
Jamie Gertz, I did not say. She was amazing.
She
in it as
deserves
well.
a mention.
It's funny because I talked to a lot of people who actually thought that was Ione Skye for a long time.
No, she's still brilliant on the Neighbors.
I
But anyway.
know it wasn't Ione Skye. I'm just saying, a lot of people told me, "Oh, that was Ione Skye." I'm like, it wasn't. But anyways, and my number one, a big surprise,
Huge surprise.
is call me a Goldberg, is Goonies. The best action adventure movie when you were a kid, because every kid thought that they were going to play out that actual movie. They thought
Well,
they
we
were
all
gonna,
tried.
They were going to try and
Yeah,
find
you
a treasure. Back behind my house, I actually had a lake. I had woods. I had this. I'd always go back and I'd always be looking for clues to something. I don't know what I was looking for, but I never found it.
See, this is the difference with kids today. These
God,
kids
yeah.
today, they don't get that movie. They wouldn't get it.
No, because it involves outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Why
And
are they riding
bicycles.
their bikes?
Why isn't somebody driving them to the cave?
Why are they in a cave? This
Take
is
a bus.
ridiculous.
This is crazy. Can't you send a robot down there to see what that is? This isn't Minecraft.
Couldn't they just play the video game? But yeah, we go on
Stupid
adventures.
kids.
Well, I had woods in my house. You'd go out and you'd find things, and
You were
just-
gone for the whole
Oh,
day.
and
Till the
you'd
light
set
came
up
on. Till
traps
The lights
and
came
forts.
on the street lights.
Street lights on, you're in the seat. That's how it worked.
Man, oh man.
Those are my top 10. And let
I
me tell
like
you
your
something.
top 10.
I
It's a good
appreciate,
top 10.
but they hurt me writing down because
sure.
my 11 through 20. There's a lot that I wish were on there.
I had many of your top 10 showed up in my 10 to 30.
Tim, you want to do yours?
Yeah, sure. How
Do you want me to do it?
what did I have for number 10? Because I can't remember because
All right,
I'm so
number
mad
10.
at this list.
You watch the road. You just.
I'm watching the road. I don't like my top 10.
right.
General audience, please acknowledge that I do not like this list.
Top 10, Beetlejuice.
I love
10, number 10.
Yeah, I'll stick with that. I love Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
That's
Great.
just such a great movie.
Number 9, Rocky 4.
Yes, Rocky 4. It's
Fantastic.
not on Jay's top 10, but it's on mine. And honestly, what pushes that movie into the top 10 is the soundtrack.
Soundtrack easily.
Number 8 is One Crazy Summer.
Love One Crazy. That I just relate to almost every character in that movie.
Son of a bitch.
And especially
Bobcat Goldthwait.
everybody.
Who else was in that?
John Cusack.
Demi Moore was
Demi
well,
Moore,
yeah,
John
yeah,
Cusack. The
obviously.
whole, if you keep making that face and they hit you in the back, you're gonna stay like that forever. I tried that on every person.
Who was the guy that directed that? Something Holland. Steve Holland. Steve Savage Holland. Was that his name? He also did. The other John Cusack. Give me my $2.
Better Off Dead.
Better
They're off dead, which isn't on my list either.
Which,
That's why I was
if we
punching.
continue with my
I
list,
know. I'm sorry. Number 7 is Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Nice.
One of
Yes,
Jay's
and that was
favorites.
rough to put that low, Jay. I'll just give you, but it just kept moving up and down.
Yep.
And I can't say any more than Jay's already said.
Number 6, Goonies.
Goonies, which could be higher, but it's not. So
There you go.
yeah,
Number 5, Better Off Dead.
Better Off
Nice.
Dead. And that. So this is my Lost Boys, as Jay is saying. This hurt me having that low on the list, to be honest with you.
It hurts me that I forgot to put it on my top 40. Either
Better Off Dead
and One Crazy Summer.
That's right, Jay. By the way, Jay did 40. He refused to do 30.
He refused to do 30.
Even though we said 30, and I said I'll just knock the
And we will
last 10
post
off.
these lists as they stand now.
Yes.
We have to agree
Sure.
on our page
Plus
when we air
our
this.
30s and his 40.
It's 40. yeah.
Okay. Number 4, Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Great movie.
Love that movie. That movie, I can remember the smell of the movie theater sitting in it watching that movie.
I saw that one at
And do you remember the
Showcase, too.
promo? Because in the promo came out for Die Hard 2, and the promo was the first one blew you through the roof of the theater. This next one's so good, it's going to blow you through the back wall. And it just was just
Wait, you're
It's gonna
talking
blow
about
you
Die
out
Hard
of an
2?
airplane.
Die Hard 2. That was the
Oh, all right. I thought you said Die Hard.
Die Hard was, yes, but then I said that they had the promo for Die
all
Hard
right,
2.
all right. I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
And that was Bruce Willis in his first action movie.
Bruce Willis, in his first action movie, straight out of Moonlight. Actually, Moonlighting was still on, I believe, at the time.
He's just a guy, like the regular guy, and they decided to put him in a regular guy situation that made him an action
You American cowboy.
star. Third, Blade Runner. Wow.
Blade Runner.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That surprises me.
Why?
It's a great movie, but I would not even come close to putting that in even my top 40.
But this is Tim.
This is
Oh, I understand
No, it's
that.
fine. No, I'm curious because I told my wife to listen. She said the same thing. She claims she's never seen the movie.
I have never
Oh, I
seen
love
it in
the
its
movie.
entirety.
Oh, I love the movie.
Was it Daryl Hannah? Blew me away in that just because I
Rutger
was
Hauer.
Oh, Rutger
Rutger
was
Hauer.
great.
I love
Yep.
Rutger Hauer.
It's
And
just
of course, this is Han Solo, in case anyone's wondering.
Yes.
This is Harrison Ford as the Blade Runner.
now I can tell you right now.
Brian James.
Having thought about my lists over the last 3 days, that would probably significantly move down with the stuff that I would put in its
Gotcha.
place.
Right.
But go ahead. Number 2 is
Say
Say
Anything.
Anything. I can tell you. Yep, Say Anything.
Son of a bitch.
I can watch that over.
Which
and
says
over
a lot
again.
about me, probably, that I have 3 John Cusack movies. Actually, 2.5. He's One Crazy Summer is not a John Cusack movie. I don't consider it. But Say Anything,
What are you
he's just...
talking? How is One
How do you
Crazy
not-
Summer not John Cusack when he's the main character?
He's not the main character.
Of course he
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, he is. He is. I take it back. I'm sorry. I'm trying to drive and
That's
do
all
weird
right.
things.
Are you thinking of Die Hard?
No, he was in Die Hard. He's in every one of my top 10 movies. Anyway, but Say Anything is just, in my opinion, the perfect 80s movie.
It's got everything.
It's got everything. And then
And it's cool for guys and
it's got
chicks.
kickboxing.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
Which was a great sport of the future.
No,
So-
my brother, you have to get your own.
But it just... And if you ever watch the documentary on the Blu-ray of Say Anything,
Oh, it's great.
the documentary's just as good as the movie. Just listening to Cusack try to bully and boss everybody around because he's...
I know,
I've
huh?
heard he's a prick in real life.
He's like 19 and
he's
like
"Oh, I have
directing
these,
the
I
movie.
have these great political ideas on what we can spin into the movie. Dude, it's a love story.
You know, he's just like Bill Murray. I don't care how much of an asshole he is. I just want to hang out with him.
I
You know,
would love to
he's-
hang out with him.
He still looks good too. I mean, he's got to be pushing
He's
40,
our
50.
age.
I mean,
He's 50. He's older
All
than
right,
us.
so he's a little bit older.
but
than
he
us.
looks. I mean, he still could do a teen comedy if he
No,
wanted.
he couldn't.
So you would like to have Billy in the car? I would love to have John
Serious.
Cusack be our guest.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
All right, let's get him on the phone.
I would like to have.
And my
Billy
number one
and-
movie.
Yes.
Sorry.
My
You know
number
what
one
it is
movie, which
without
I would
looking at
take
the
off
list.
the list after I think about it now, is Empire Strikes Back.
One of the darkest
The darkest
of the series.
is my favorite Star
You-
Wars movie,
Okay, and now I get what you're saying about transcending time.
but
I
it's
gotcha.
not an 80s movie.
It's completely an 80s
It
movie.
is an
It
80s
came
movie.
from. It was.
It was
made
born in the 80s.
Yes.
It was May 20 something, 1980. It's the first movie I ever saw in the movie theater, and I remember it ending and just sitting there. You know what? That movie made me
'Cause it
obsessed with
didn't end.
movies. Yeah, but it didn't end. No, yeah, because it left you hanging.
Right.
It's like there's
That was
just
the
Luke
coolest
standing
thing.
there looking out the window.
That's
and
the
it's like,
first time I ever saw something like that.
Well, what do you mean? I thought it should end. But it's
Because
the first
back
time.
then you don't know that he's got 3 in mind when he put those out.
No, you have no. We didn't have the internet. We didn't
Right.
have anything. It's like that's it. Why would you do that to me?
And then you see the previews for the next one, and I can remember looking at a magazine and see what's the big ship that that they were going to throw them into the pit. You know, that big brown
Jabba's.
ship.
Yeah, Jabba's Wrath.
Jabba's
Yeah,
skiff
I can
and the
remember
Sarlacc
looking
pit.
into it in a magazine. I can't remember what it was, but seeing that being built, and this is coming up. And
It was probably Starlog.
I can pick off
Great 80s magazine.
So I can see taking that off the list and keeping
No,
it on the
I-
list. But either way, that's the movie
Hey, it
that
meant
made
something to you.
It made me love movies.
Okay,
So
that's important.
there you go. That was my list.
All right, now as I mentioned before, 84 to maybe 87, 88 were very important years for me, and I think that's where my list lies. I love Stripes, Caddyshack, all those movies, but I don't relate those to my 80s. You know, what I was going through, what really formed
Yep.
me. So, with that being said, here's my list.
And just so you know, I disagree completely with Ray, but go on.
No.
I agree with Ray.
You cannot disagree
I
that that's what formed me. Because you didn't even know me back then.
I know you now.
To me, just before he jumps in, Caddyshack is a 70s movie. It's a 70s leftover movie. In the 80s.
Correct.
The movies that meant something to me were this list here, and they just happen to be a different era of the 80s.
I can't wait.
Junior high and high school.
I can't wait to hear it, Ray.
It's not that exciting. It really isn't. I'm sorry. I'm going to really disappoint you guys. Number 10, Real Genius.
More cops.
Son of a bitch.
Real Genius is like number 15. I got it.
Val Kilmer.
I
Love
wanted
that
to
movie.
be Val. I wanted to talk like Val Kilmer. I wanted to be that quick and that sharp and that funny.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer was awesome. One of the coolest guys in the world.
Well, that's another guy I got in touch with, the kid from Real Genius.
Oh, really?
Never heard back
That
from
kid
him.
would, yeah, I remember him. He was funny, but I don't remember him doing anything after that.
Number 9,
Sorry.
and a couple episodes back, we discussed E.T. as not being a... I love E.T.
Sorry.
It's just, you know what, it warms the
Now I feel
cockles of
horrible
my
looking at your
heart.
top 10.
It makes-
Jeez.
it
Wow.
warms the
Because I
cockles
was
of my
angry.
heart.
I don't like-
I love E.T.
I wasn't angry. I just thought it got too much press.
I
for
love
what it
Gertie.
was.
She's so funny. You know, Drew Barrymore was great.
She was a
I didn't.
five-star.
You know who I didn't care for though? I didn't care for Elliot. I thought he was a douche. I didn't.
Elliot destroyed the movie for
Yeah,
me.
you know
Yeah.
why? Yeah, I didn't care for him. But I loved E.T.
Okay.
I like the older brother. He
You
was
wanted
reckless.
E.T. to be your friend,
I
Ray.
did, of course. Who didn't?
Yeah.
An alien for a friend.
E.T..
You know what they were going to name
He
that?
wants to
There
be
he is.
your
Ah, I
friend.
love you. They were going to name that movie or call
Meatballs
that movie
2. It was
Yeah,
weird.
A Boy and His Dog. That was the original title of
Wow,
E.T.
Damn. I would have
Number
liked
8.
it more.
Number 8, Goonies. I think that made all of our top 10s.
Made all of it. That's the
course it
first
did.
one so far.
Okay. And again, for the reasons you guys gave, it was just an amazing movie. I wanted to be one of the Goonies. I wanted to have those friends. I wanted to be Dad. I think at one point I had the Indiana Jones theme. Oh, no, he did James Bond.
Yes.
He had the James Bond
James
theme.
Bond, yeah.
And I would
00 negative.
I would make all these like contraptions that never worked because even in Goonies they didn't work in real life.
No.
Chattering teeth, keeping you from falling into a pit.
Way to kill my buzz.
Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry, you really believed that. My bad.
I carry him around for safety.
Revenge of the Nerds 7, and I know that's
Revenge
earlier.
of the Nerds 7.
No, number 7 is Revenge of the Nerds. Why are you guys making fun of my top 10?
No, I thought you meant Revenge of the Nerds 7.
Number 7.
No,
It was
I
made in
just
the
said
90s. Cops are still here, by the way.
They're everywhere tonight.
Something's happening here. Be careful. Those are red lights. Why are they red?
I don't know.
That's the fire. Wow,
That
that's
guy
up
is
in
still
police.
there.
He's
The
not having-
kid is still on the escalator.
He's not having a good night.
That's 90s. I'm sorry, Ray. Go
All
on.
right, anyway, Ray, we're not picking on your movie. I really thought you meant Revenge of the Nerds
Revenge
version
of
7.
the Nerds. Number
So again,
7 is my
me and-
number 7.
Police
Me and you were
Academy number. Oh, I love Police Academy. Anyway, go ahead.
Me and you had 7, I had 6 on that. So
And-
we actually are
and
close on that one.
What I had discussed earlier was that, I have a time frame. That falls a little bit short of my time frame, but it was one of the first movies I saw boobies in, and the hair pie. I didn't get half the jokes in it.
No,
But
no.
it was, my friend had a VCR, and I mean, we all had the VCRs, but he was able to record shows from HBO, and so he had Friday the 13th.
Yep.
He had Hard Bodies. Remember Hard
I
Bodies?
loved Hard Bodies.
Fast Moves was another one no one will ever
Love
remember.
Fast
Do
Moves.
you? Okay.
Joysticks, for God's sake.
Yeah, but it was
See,
all booby movies,
Yep.
and I got to see them. So Revenge of the Nerds, one of those movies that I remember, one of those
Hamburger,
first sex
the motion
comedy.
picture.
Yes. Number 6, License to Drive.
That's a great movie.
When the Feldman, the Coreys became teenagers, it's one of the funniest movies ever. If you just listen and enjoy and get over the fact that it's a Corey movie, it is one of the funniest
There's
movies
nothing
ever.
wrong with Corey movies.
I give
Well,
up.
some of
My
them.
list is now really upsetting me because how do I forget Corey movies? I'm the biggest fan of Corey Haim, and Feldman's all right, but
License to Drive, I watch that one maybe once every couple months. I can watch that over and over.
So was
again.
that 6?
Richard Muller, I think that was the dad's name. He was
6,
yeah.
outstanding at the end.
oh,
when
he was
I love him.
hilarious. And the
a great
mom,
Carol Kane.
Carol Kane is awesome in everything she does.
Heather Graham is the girl in it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Very early Heather Graham.
5 Ghostbusters. Again, I was young, maybe 12, 13.
Again.
I remember
I had
seeing
number
that
4,
at the
you had
theater.
number 5.
I remember being blown away at the comedy action horror.
Special effects that blew you
Oh,
away
yeah,
at the time
absolutely.
too. When you saw those ghosts, you were like, "Man, they look so good."
Well, not just a ghost, but the Marshmallow Man. I mean,
Nobody steps on a church in my town.
Number 4, we went to LA on vacation, a week-long vacation. I went to the movies while the rest of the family shopped at
Did
the
you
mall.
put the Griswold on?
No,
Oh.
what?
I thought this was going to be the Griswold.
No. Oh, that's another thing. I kept off Christmas movies,
I did
themed
too.
movies.
Yeah.
I kept those off because Home Alone and Christmas Vacation could have easily made my top 30. Anyway, we were in LA. I went to the movies and I saw one of my favorite action movies of all time, Lethal Weapon.
It's on my new list.
The hair. Jay's got the hair. He's got Riggs hair. And I'm so jealous that you are sporting a Riggs.
Oh, I'm completely doing the rigs, and that's why I'm saying this isn't a freaking mullet.
I know, I was joking.
It's a Riggs.
It's more of a Riggs. And
It's rigged.
I worked so hard for the Riggs, and I'm moving a lot closer to my number 3 movie hairdo, which is Die Hard.
Oh, fantastic.
Which, I mean, for a bald guy, and even receding during Die Hard,
He looks
looked pretty
good.
damn good.
You look great.
So I got
He was
4 and
balding
3,
when he was like 19.
both action movies. But I think those 2 movies really turned me on to action.
I was really upset when I forgot Lethal Weapon. This is my bonus list. It would have been on there.
Number 2, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You know, I love Ferris Bueller. Not to, again, talk too much like I've been doing the entire episode, but for whatever reason, I did not put it on top 40.
Oh,
I didn't either.
because you're not Ray.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Ray's got better taste.
I feel
so
like
we'll
Ray
just go
gets
with Ray's.
mad at me sometimes when I say that.
Do you feel he does?
No, I don't. I'm not. But you just gotta
Do
understand.
you think Ray gets upset when Ray says something and then you totally just rip it apart? You think that upsets Ray?
I don't.
It's a matter of opinion. I don't expect you to like it. Wait,
I think this is great, like, whatever the hell is we're doing. Episode, TV, it's good. The conflict between you two guys, the sexual tension is just incredible.
this is gonna be a cliffhanger. Do they do it or don't they?
I wish we had Punch and John on right now.
What number are you on? 3?
Ferris Bueller. I wanted to be Ferris Bueller.
You wanted a day off?
I did get a nickname in high school. They called me Ferris. because I'm the one that got away with everything.
That's awesome.
It didn't last long, but whatever.
Because you got caught.
And I think I made up the nickname myself.
And you were the only one calling.
I put it in their ears. I said, you know.
Try this on for size.
But I did. I wanted to be fair. I wanted to get away with that stuff. I wanted to make those phone calls to the principal and have all the answers and get away with it.
That's right.
I love it. And the soundtrack is pretty decent for.
It's a great
soundtrack. And then my number one movie, and I would have to say my number one trilogy of all time, is Back to the Future.
Yeah. Again, I had Back to the Future on mine. I love the movie, but I think it's because of the trilogy that I did not put it up higher. Because
I still love 2.
See, it just
I love
2 and 3 took away from number 1 for me.
Did it really?
No.
Yeah.
Because 3 was outstanding.
Did you like 3?
I did. I really like 3. I didn't.
I didn't dislike any of them. I liked them all, but I loved number 1. So
I could talk about this for half an hour.
Going to see 2 and 3 though, I really assumed
by
it was
the way,
going to just keep getting better and better.
Oh my God, we got like 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
Go to Tim Rice Photo and look at the picture.
We'll
and
share it
this
on the
was
site.
weeks back,
Yeah.
and show it right now. So
Show
put it,
what?
on
He's
the
showing
screen.
it.
Put it on the screen.
showing
yes.
it.
I'm like, what? I'm showing it right now. I'm showing the photo right now. I'm like,
It's a great picture
I'm, like, I'm
that Tim-
scared. I'm
Tim
like, what
did.
am I doing?
Um,
From my favorite scene of that trilogy, episode 2, or
Okay.
the episode 2, but
if you know, they made 3. They made 1. They made 3. They couldn't get that segue in, the good segue, so they made 2
at the
to
same
segue into 3.
I had no idea.
They
about
made a
that.
second
They made
movie.
2
a whole
and 3
movie.
were made at the same exact time.
I knew that.
But originally 3 was supposed to be the second movie.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
See, I had no idea about
And
that.
2 gets dark.
2 is dark, yeah.
With the horrible future that we're about to live
And-
next year. Because it's 2015,
And
I
the
believe.
loss of Crispin Glover was very upsetting. But
Yes.
he thought he was the main character,
He
right
did.
along with Michael J. Fox, and they had to say, "You're really not," you know.
So they put him upside down in 2, so you wouldn't be able to tell who it
Wasn't
was.
him.
No. They put his character
all right.
upside down so that you couldn't get a good look at his
They're
face.
just screwing with him, so it's like, you can
Who was
still
supposed
in
to
it,
be
but
the
we can
original
upside
Marty
down.
McFly?
Eric Stoltz,
Stoltz.
another
Stoltz.
staple from the 80s.
Who?
So-
Pretty in Pink, for the love of God, awesome movie.
There is a...
Mask?
No, I'm sorry, not Pretty in Pink.
Mask.
I'm sorry, I meant not Pretty in Pink. The one where
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
That's a
Man.
great movie.
Oh, now we're rushing. We're rushing
I
to
know,
get everything
I know.
out here.
So anyway, we got all our lists are out.
2 minutes!
We got 2 minutes. All our lists are done.
And we're going to put these on Facebook.
As they are.
And a
not
future
edited.
website.
Yeah, and
My
a
first
future
80s
website.
drive-in movie was actually Star Wars. I saw it in 1980.
You what?
My first drive-in movie I ever saw in the 80s was 1980. I saw Star Wars when it came back around.
Airplane, which had boobies in it. My parents freaked out.
I saw Goonies and Fletch.
Come on.
Not Fletch.
Oh, my double feature was Temple and Raiders and Airplane.
See, I don't remember what the double feature was.
Airplane's not on any of our lists.
No, it was on mine, wasn't it?
Nope.
Top 10, not
Well,
top 10.
I'm looking forward to posting my top 30.
Yes,
Well,
because you're going to see a lot of... I think all our movies are pretty much on there.
we never
somewhere.
made a top 10. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll post
We'll do that. That's
a
something they're
driving,
going to get on the...
distracted driving. Yeah, it's
And
a bonus feature.
It's very
Yeah.
close, though. We got a bunch that were actually all on each other's. That's actually very impressive.
Yeah, the only one that everybody seemed shocked at was my
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Yep, kind of surprised.
It's a great movie.
But no, I respect that because
It
that's
was like-
your
That's mine.
top
They
10.
remade it like 5 times, you know.
I've never seen a remake.
Oh, so you
No,
all
they
you saw
didn't.
was the
He's
original?
saying
When
that
I
they
remastered,
being snarky.
re-edited.
He's-
No, they remastered
No, I know what he means.
it.
Oh, I thought you meant they just made science fiction movies.
So I would
that
like to
were
point out-
similar to.
30 opportunities, 10 each, 3 people. Not one of us have an Indiana Jones flick on there.
Are you sure we don't have 5 more minutes? Because we had 5 minutes from the last time.
No, I
we
reset it.
reset it.
Never mind.
She just wants to talk more.
All right, so Milford TV Friday nights.
Yes.
And then rerun.
Friday nights, 8:30.
Rerun, right?
Sunday, we'll post it on the Facebook page, but we're played 5 times a week.
Okay. Distracted Driving on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter, DD the Show. Ask us questions, follow us, like us, tell your friends about us. Do that. How about that?
How about feedback?
How about pay us? Give us some money.
Pay us.
Tradesman.
We do have a
Booze.
sponsor. We like to
Tradesman,
announce.
yeah.
Just buy me a beer or shots or beer and shots.
Shay would like booze. But
Rob-
we do have
Rob
an
and the
official
tradesman.
tradesman. We'd
Yep.
like to welcome them officially.
Yes, so thank you for joining us, Rob.
Go to his establishment.
Lots of great music there every few weeks. Best prices in town as far as booze goes.
Best food in town.
Great food. Steak Mondays. Oh, that's
The
incredible.
burgers.
Best damn burger around.
So there you go. Thank you very much, Rob, for believing in us. We love you.
He thinks we're
You
gonna
believe.
He thinks we're
You
gonna
love
be
us.
something. And we are open to more sponsors. We have plenty of space. We have scrolling opportunities. You'll be able to see all the different places.
Oh, we talk about it on Facebook,
Talk
and
about
YouTube,
you.
and Twitter. Yeah, well, we're whores. I mean, we are promotional whores.
All right.
All right. See you, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Later.
Drinky time.